What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to live. This is a live. It is time are we at 8:57, January 3rd. If you're watching the replay, welcome in. Let me know where you're watching from in the comment section. And if you're on the replay, you'll be able to fast forward that replay. Before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, if you're on Facebook, you're going to see that pinned comment. If you want to subscribe to the channel, it brings you over to a special Facebook group. There's a bunch of us in there. I think there's almost 700 of us in there right now. And if you support the channel, that is one of the ways to do so. The other way to do so, obviously, is head over to BertaProudDad.com, where we got something for everybody over there in the form of clothing. And we appreciate all the love and support. I'm going to cover a couple things today. As we've seen what happened last night, Donald Trump and U.S. forces went into Venezuela, give Venezuelans their freedom. There's a lot of mixed comments on my side, and that's okay. You're allowed to have your opinion when it comes down to Venezuela, but I know that the Venezuelan people have rid themselves of a dictator, and Donald Trump was a big part of that. So we're going to cover that a little bit this morning on the stream. We're also going to cover what's happening in Calgary with the water main. There's a lot more than just a broken pipe, broken promises, and something going on with Naheed Nenshi. We're going to cover that a little bit today as well. And then I want to talk a little bit about recall petitions happening in Alberta. So if you're interested in all that, stick around for the stream. Let's talk about it a little bit, and make sure you share it out. We appreciate all the shares. More people, the merrier. Put your comments in the comment section. I'll try to get them the best I can. While we're doing that, we're going to get our friends over on Instagram live right now. We're going to make sure we hit that live button and we get them in here. We are live on Instagram. So right now we're live on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, and that would be it. So we appreciate each and every one of you for being here this Saturday morning, this frosty Saturday morning in Calgary, Alberta. It looks like winter. I just came back from Mexico. You guys know that on the 31st of December. And wow, it is frosty. There's definitely a climate change happening between Mexico and Canada, and it's called natural climate change because the earth is always naturally cooling. And the earth, I was going to do a flat, so I want to say, so as I'm laying on the beach in Mexico and I'm looking across the horizon, right, from one point of land to one point of land. I'm in Puerto Vallarta. If you've ever been to Puerto Vallarta, you know what I'm talking about. You see the land over there towards Buceres. I think I said that properly. And then Puerto Vallarta, you see a point that way. And you just see the horizon and it looks flat. And I thought, I was like, you know what? I'm going to grab my phone and I'm going to do a flat earth video and just really get people going, but never when I got around to it and didn't really do it. So welcome in. Let's get those comments flowing. Let's get those shares out. And like I said, if you want to hit that subscribe button, we would really appreciate it. So let's get right into it. So overnight, there was a military operation in Venezuela. Mira ya, mira lo quemado.
Mira, huevón, durísimo, chamo. Ya vas a ver un incendio, pero una vaina. Oye, ahí todo algo está pasando. Verga, marico.
There you go. So military operation, Donald Trump goes into Venezuela and ridding Venezuela of their dictator. And there's mixed comments to people online. Like, war sucks, right? And I don't think this is a war. I think this is a military operation. The reason for this is Donald Trump has warned Maduro over and over and over again that he's sick and tired of the drugs coming into the United States. There's a huge drug trafficking issue in Venezuela mixed with human trafficking, including children. And as well, if you go back to the Biden administration, when Biden opened the borders, what did Maduro do? He opened up his mental asylums. He opened up his prisons. He opened up basically any crazy in the country and basically said, go to the United States. And that's what happened. Venezuela has said that we're not going to take people back. And so there's been this back and forth, right? And he's a dictator. He's a communist. And the worst thing is, though, is that's one part of the story. One part of the story is You know, Maduro is now out of the country. He's been captured by the United States. He's now in U.S. control, and Venezuelans can start getting their freedom back. Okay, people will say, "Oh, this is a power shift, power regime." Blah blah. What? This is how the world works. Okay, when you see a dictator who is harming its people, people have been forced to fled. People can't buy food. People are scared. People are censored. Media is censored. And on top of it, you are committing crimes against your country, the United States. What do you think Donald Trump is going to do? He did exactly what he said he was going to do. But the real story here is the Trump derangement syndrome. The left literally siding with dictators in front of all of our eyes, right? And we're all seeing it. We've been calling this out forever, whether it's Palestinian protests, Iranian regimes. I don't think anybody's sided with North Korea, but at the end of the day, we've seen them side with literal dictators, okay? And they can't even hide it anymore, and they're proud of it. They're proud of it, which is absolutely, utterly disgusting. So if you haven't seen my video on that this morning, you're going to have the pleasure to watch that video right now. And here's my video on the Venezuela, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts. And we do touch on Trump derangement syndrome in there as well. Huge day for the people of Venezuela. Overnight, the United States launched a major military operation, and President Nicolas Maduro and his wife were captured and flown out of the country, according to U.S. leadership. For the Venezuelan people, this matters. Years of hyperinflation, empty shelves, power outages, political prisoners, and millions forced to flee their homeland just to survive. But the real story is the global meltdown from the lefties suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. This man could cure cancer, and you would complain about the method. He could dismantle a dictatorship, and you would still side with the dictator. You cheered when Biden let the U.S. border collapse. You cheered when Trudeau pushed mass immigration into Canada, and now families are drowning under housing and grocery costs. Your delusions are on full display because you are not just excusing communist failure, you are siding with literal communists. I'm BertaProudDad, and I believe in freedom, and I stand with the people of Venezuela. And I truly do. I stand with the people of Venezuela, right? I think everybody deserves freedom. We see it happening in our own country right now, not at the extent of Venezuela by any means. But at the end of the day, we see it and we must call it out, and things must be done about it. And like I said earlier, the Venezuelan people have seen mass inflation, mass censorship, journalists put into jail, fleeing the country for their safety. Maduro opened up the prisons, told them to go to the States, not stopping the drug trafficking that is coming out of Venezuela into Colombia, eventually into the United States. Like, does this look hard-handed? Absolutely. But you can only do so much diplomatically. But the Trump derangement syndrome that is literally just showing itself is insane at this point. Absolutely insane. And I just want you all to know that I will always support freedom. I will support your freedom of expression. I will support even the people on the other side of the aisle and their freedom. But what we saw in Venezuela it has been mounting for some time now. And to watch the lefties come out in droves, it's not even because of what happened in Venezuela, ladies and gentlemen. This is because it's Trump. If this was Joe Biden, auto pen Biden, if this was him, they would be cheering. They'd be clapping. Yeah, free the people of Venezuela. Politics has gotten absolutely ridiculous. There's nothing even political about this. This is for the safety of the American people, national security. This is for stopping fentanyl from killing people in the streets, stopping Venezuelans from coming in and committing crime. This is what this is about. But they don't see it because it's not about that to them. They don't care about the safety of others. They care about it's Trump. And that's literally what this is. This is where politics has come from. We're seeing it at every level of politics today, from municipal all the way up to the federal level. It's got nothing to do with policy anymore. It's got everything to do with, I don't like that guy. We even see it on our own channel. How many teachers during the teachers strike came at me and tried to discredit me, or I'm just a drug addict. no credibility. No, not saying, hey, this guy's worked his ass off for 5 years. This guy's gotten sober. He hasn't had a drink or a drug in 5 years. Congratulations, good for him. 5 years ago, you were a drug addict, so nobody should listen to you. This is what they make it about. And you know what? I truly do believe this is why this channel is exploding everywhere, is because we call it as it is. We're not scared of the other side. We're not scared of their attacks. We're not scared of their political ideology. We're against it. And we'll call it out every single day. And this is why you guys tune into the channel. This is why you guys support the website. This is why you guys subscribe to the channel. By the way, if you want to subscribe, hit the pinned comment. We're going to keep on going on. Whew, that was a good little rant. Good little rant for Saturday morning. Hopefully you guys all got your coffee into you. Because we're going to move into something next. It's an active situation. That Calgary water main is an active situation. And this is why I'm looking at my phone right now, because I have people giving me information on the Calgary water main situation. Like I guess that's part of the thing that you guys don't see from the channel, right? And you guys don't really have to, but I said it yesterday in a live stream. The work that goes into a 30, 40, 60-second video could be up to hours, right? And that's why I always laugh when people say, oh, you don't have a job. It's like, well, this kind of is a job. That's what this is. I'm Saturday morning right now, and I'm covering stories of the day while people aren't working at their jobs, right? I'm still working. I'm planning to get out to the Calgary water main break today to do some content from there. But I have a meeting in regards to recall petitions before that. So, you know, I'm always working, but I don't consider this as work because I think this is important stuff that needs to happen so you guys can watch on a daily basis and then form your own opinion from that. So yesterday I did a video about the Calgary water main break, basically accusing Nenshi. This is before Danielle Smith came out with her presser. And it was good to see her also blame Nenshi, because I knew it right away. I've been making videos about when the first water main break happened in 2024. I said, why are we not inspecting these pipes? We all know they're old pipes. I'm not like, that's what the left is saying, right? You know, those are 100-year-old pipes. And, you know, what do you expect's going to happen? Why do you guys always validate failure? Why do you always find excuses for failure? Well, we know why. Because Naheed Nenshi was the mayor of Calgary after the floods. And when the floods happened, something absolutely happened to those pipes. And now, guess what happened? Guess what didn't happen, by the way? All right? Inspections. Instead, Nenshi's buying blue rings and fancy art and attending events and saying the city's okay while he increases the taxes, makes life harder for Calgarians. And here we are, 2024 water main break. We had a water main break in 2025. And at the tail end of 2025, we got a massive water main break. Calgary under water restrictions and 3-minute showers. Hopefully you guys saw my video about Ed with the 3-minute shower. Oh, that was in my story. Anyway, we're not going to make this about Ed, but yeah. Here's my video from yesterday talking about that. Experience is another water main failure, and I have every right to believe that this guy right here has something to do with it. I'm going to show you a clip. This clip is from my good buddy Kevin Tucker of Great Northern Discussions. I've been a guest on his podcast before, and you should go and actually follow that podcast. It's a great show. So if you don't know him, I will tag him below. But Kevin had Sonia Sharp, former mayoral candidate and city councilor, on the show where they discussed water infrastructure. Have a look.
So I just feel like we're not getting all the answers from administration. I'm not going to say they're hiding anything, but what do they not want to tell council? Or what was their previous council saying? We're just not interested in that. But whatever is, we have to find out and we have to fix. There's a lot of talk about, the past councils not investing, and I'm sure they didn't. We can look back and look what they voted for, because we will have a water main break again. Yeah. in the winter. It just doesn't, there isn't a winter that goes by. We just had one 3 weeks ago in Councillor Wong's area.
Now, water main breaks are not new to Calgary, but enough is enough. We have to figure this out. If only there was some sort of report that came from the last major water main break that would be able to tell us what happened, what we can do differently, and how to respond to it. Oh, wait, there is. Except that report is sitting on Calgary administration's desk right now, and they are refusing to give it to council. In what world do we live in, ladies and gentlemen, where you can be the board of directors of a company, i.e., Calgary City Council, and you demand a document, not request a document, because that's how it works, and they refuse to give it to you? In what world does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. This is why I think there is a cover-up. They are protecting something, because Naheed Nenshi, once the mayor of Calgary, is now the head of Alberta's NDP, which are calling for an election.
If an election was held today, I'll just tell you, we'd win an election today.
So this would hurt Naheed Nenshi in an election. Absolutely it would. So why is there an extension? Why can't they give the report? They said, we'll give you the report on Monday. So we're going to spend the weekend redacting the report, changing the report. What are we doing here? This is clear mismanagement, and it needs to be called out. That's why I'm calling it out. Jeremy Farkas, get your hands on the report. Demand the report. Calgarians deserve to see the report. Not on Monday, today. Sorry, I was muted. That right there, I stand by that video. That video, I truly do believe that there is a massive cover-up happening with Calgary City administration and Naheed Nenshi and Jody Gondek. We can put that in there. Why do I believe this? Where am I coming from this? Well, because there's a document that after the 2024 water pipe burst in Calgary, there was a document that was basically they spent millions of dollars to get a third-party company to come in to do an investigation and write a report on how we can mitigate this in the future, how we can change things, and how we can appropriately respond to emergencies in the water situations, and how we can do something. Okay? That report has been finalized since November and now going through edits. Back the fucking truck up for a second. Why would you need to edit a report before it went to council, other than if somebody was complicit in some sort of thing? You got Naheed Nenshi out there calling for an election before any of this came out, before this water main break. And then now, I don't think Naheed Nenshi wants an election. I could tell you he probably doesn't want an election. But this report is being withheld from council. The mayor, Jeremy Farkas, knows that this report is done. They don't care about the edits. They don't want the edits. We want to see the report because we have an active water emergency happening in the city right now. So, like I said in that video, in what world do we live in where the board of directors, i.e., the city council, goes to the employees and says, give me the report, and employees can say, no, not until it's edited? In what world do we live in? Anybody? Does anybody have an answer for that? Jeremy Farkas. If anybody knows Jeremy, just get this out to him. What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop trying to save face as the mayor of Calgary. Get the damn report and get it read and figure it out. Because what it looks like from me right now is you're protecting somebody or some people from accountability. And didn't you run on accountability? That's I remember that. I'm sure all of you guys remember that. But while Calgarians are boiling their water today, you have city council waiting on a report, and administration is playing politics. We live in a world where administration is running councils when it should be the other way around. Councils running administrations. Something needs to be done about that. Now, why do I think there's a cover-up? Remember when I said the report is being withheld? Well, so is this executive. It's basically a condensed version of the report. That also has not been released to the public or the council or anybody. But Naheed Nenshi's on the radio this morning, and he says this.
Really set out that once this is fixed, we'll figure out what's going on. And I appreciated him pushing for the 2024 report to be made public. I haven't read the whole thing, but I did read the executive summary. That very much does not.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Let's rehear that again.
I haven't read the whole thing, but I did read the executive summary.
You read the executive summary? Again, for the people in the back.
I haven't read the whole thing, but I did read the executive summary.
What? You read the executive summary? You read a document that is being withheld from council by city administration, and you're the leader of the NDP, the official opposition? Danielle Smith hasn't even read that document. Council hasn't read that document. The citizens haven't gotten that document. But a mayor who is probably responsible for all of this mess, who probably diverted funds to buy art and waste taxpayers' dollars, all while increasing the cost of living in his city, has gotten access to an executive summary? Make that make sense. Make that make. This needs to be shared everywhere, folks. If you're a Calgarian, this needs to be shared. And of course, the lefties will say, oh, he's lying. BertaProudDad doesn't know what he's talking about. Folks, this is literally from a radio show.
I did read the executive summary. That very much does not blame previous administrations the way the premier is attempting to. But it
doesn't blame previous administrations. No shit, Nenshi. No shit. So the guy who supposedly did no wrongdoing gets first-hand access to an executive summary before the premier, before the people, before the council, and can go on live radio, speak to Calgarians, and say, don't worry, guys, it's all good. There's nothing in that report that blames me. A cover-up is a cover-up is a cover-up, and I can smell a cover-up when I see one, and you guys too. You're not stupid.
It's clear that we have other pipes like this for this same vintage, and we have to figure out how to build that redundant stuff. Now, that does mean...
Why was that not figured out while you were mayor? What? We got to build that redundant stuff. So now that you're the leader of the opposition, the leader of the Alberta NDP, you grill Danielle Smith on the cost of living, you grill her on everything else. What's your solution, Naheed? What's your solution, buddy? You're the one that goes after Danielle Smith on the cost of living. Let's see what Naheed's solution is.
We have to figure out how to build that redundant stuff. Now, that does mean, people's water bills are going to go up.
What? So just like when you were the mayor of Calgary, you're going to increase taxes? As if Calgarians aren't paying enough. This all started with you, Naheed. This is you, Naheed. This is you afraid of accountability because you're done. You're done. Forever. Since you were elected the leader of the NDP, we've come out and we said that you are an absolute disaster. And it's true. It is absolutely, without a doubt, true that you are a disaster. You were a disaster of a mayor before you knew basically that this was going to happen. You said, hey, leave it up to somebody else. Leave it up to somebody else. I'm out. I'm going to go do my thing. Calgary's in shambles. I made it that way. I'm gone. And then the numpties from the left, they're like, oh, Naheed Nenshi, woo, let's go. Yeah, you guys really elected a good leader. This is the beginning of the end for Naheed Nenshi, ladies and gentlemen, because as many of you know, I'm not a fan of Naheed. I wasn't a fan of what he did to Calgary. I wasn't a fan of his policies and his wedge issues. I wasn't a fan that he stood up in the legislature and literally defended sexually explicit books being shown to children alongside Janice Irwin and Amanda Chapman, the shadow minister for education. So yeah, when I see something like this come out, I'm going to call it out every single day. If this was Danielle Smith, I would be calling it out as well. But guess what? It's not Danielle Smith. It's not. So Naheed Nenshi, you absolutely are complicit in something. There absolutely is a cover-up. I feel it. It's my opinion. So in the form of allegedly. But let you guys form your opinions. Let me hear in the chat. Let me hear in the comments. Is there a cover-up at the city of Calgary? Is somebody being protected at the administration level? Maybe somebody who was a former counselor, and maybe somebody who was a former mayor. Is something happening within the city of Calgary right now that Calgarians deserve to know about? Because I think there is. I think there absolutely is. All right. We're going to move away from that. Like I said earlier, I'm going to plan to get some more content. I'm going to go on location to the water main break today. That's the plan. But I want to talk recall petitions in this province. I want to talk about the fact that Nenshi supporters, like we just discussed, the numpties of the left, are butthurt. The Danielle Smith decided to stand up for children in this province, decided to tell teachers to go back to work. That's what she decided to do. And because of that, they start these recall petitions that are going to cost Albertans more money because they think they might be able to remove a minister. But they're losing the plot because you might be able to remove a minister, which is very low chance of that happening, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody's still got to win a by-election. So you still got to win the election. So now you're going to cost the recall, you're going to cost the removal, and then you're going to start an election. All because you guys didn't win an election. You hate democracy. Only when you win, though. That's when you like it. So we're gonna shift gears a little bit because we're talking about recalls. But this next video I'm going to show you is from somebody who is running a recall in Calgary. And I just want to preface it with this. I get called a grifter every day because I do investigative journalism and I need to position myself in a way where I can't be fired from a job or canceled or any of that other stuff. You guys know this. This is nothing new. We own BertaProud Enterprises, Inc. It has 4 employees. We ship out merchandise. You guys buy clothing and we appreciate it. You guys have seen it in the comments. We're called grifters every single day. Grifting is not when you own a company, when you sell a product and people buy product and you send it to them. That is not grifting. Grifting is when you ask for money with nothing in return. This next video is from one of those recall campaigns asking for money with nothing in return.
Asking how they can support our cause.
Highly doubtful.
And right now what we need is some funds. So we are looking to get off of social media, out into the real world. We're going to run some ad campaigns, hopefully get some billboards. But unfortunately, all of this reach costs money.
Whoa. Back the truck up. Back the truck. I get called a grifter every single day for selling you a product. Like you go to my website, you buy a product, I ship it to you, you get that. I get called a grifter. You just want money for nothing? You're not even giving anything? Wow. There we are, guys. There we are. The truth always comes out. They project what they're doing onto you. Anyway, this is the last day for the Thanks Ed sale on my website. THXED is the promo code. On orders over $200, you'll save a little bit of cash at checkout. Thanks for all your support.
Fuck. You know what? If I saw somebody wearing this in public, I'd fucking walk up to them and tell them they're a fucking idiot. Conservatives are disgusting. This is from a guy named BertaProudDad. He sells these on his website, BertaProudDad.com.
Oh, folks, I had to add it in there. It is true. That video I did yesterday, 95% of you were loving the Thanks Ed series. Cousin Eddie, 95%. It's only a small percentage, 5%, that just, they're like, move along. This isn't you. I'm a guy with an opinion and an iPhone. I'm allowed to have fun. This guy came at me and slandered my business, and I'm going with it. I'm doing it. I'm enjoying it. That is true. That Thanks Ed, THXED, at checkout on orders over $200. Yeah, that's an active promo code. You're going to save some money on the website. So BertaProudDad.com, guys, and go check it out. I would forever appreciate it. James saying now that you have 4X, I'll be getting way too much stuff. I love that. Thank you. I appreciate it. And that's what it's for, right? Is if you guys appreciate the work that we do on the channel, by all means, this shirt right here, best-selling shirt we've ever had. Many people are getting it. Many people are loving it. Many people are enjoying it. And you know what? It helps us do what we do. Speaking of which, this is one of the last live streams. Maybe I'll do 3 or 4 before we're all fully set up. But the podcast equipment is here. We're currently waiting on the delivery truck for furniture. Producer comes tomorrow to set up all the equipment and work some bugs out. Then you no longer have to look at my trusty dusty thermostat. Why is it 24? Who set it to that? No, it's 24 degrees in here. It's set to 20. It's hot in here. But yeah, I no longer have to do this for my kitchen table. And that's always been a dream of mine. It's always been something that I've wanted to do. And now I get to do it. Right? Now I get to do it. Because of you guys. And it means the world to me. Right? Because it truly does take a village. Nobody's asking you to go spend thousands of dollars, but one t-shirt does make a difference when 1,000 people do it. So that's basically where we're at, right? And I've been fired from my job for being BertaProudDad. I'm literally unemployable now because I'm BertaProudDad. So this is what we have to do. And I know that you guys are going to support the channel. Actually, today we got these in. Does not play very well with liberals. So every single person who places an order today is going to get one of these put in their box as well. So we appreciate each and every one of you for that. Thank you so much. And yeah, we're going to continue moving on with that. I want to talk about this. This Venezuela deal is bad news for Alberta oil. Okay, that's fine. I believe in humans over oil. See, the oil market is always going to do what the oil market's going to do. It's going to fluctuate. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. It's going to level out. And that's what it's going to do with this Venezuela thing. It's going to crash. It's going to come back up. But I don't know if you've known this or not. The Alberta oil industry is already hurting because of our own government, right? You can't say what Donald Trump did was bad because you're worried about oil prices. I don't worry about oil more than human life. And you know what? These people deserve their freedom, and I stand with those Venezuelan people. I do, and I always will. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. People are allowed to have differences of opinion. I agree with that. But the oil industry is going to do what the oil industry does. And we have bigger problems at home that could help that oil and energy industry than worrying about Donald Trump going to help people with their freedom. That's truly what I believe in. And that's never going to change, ever. So guys, go grab your gear. BertaProudDad.com. Support the channel. We appreciate each and every one of you for supporting the channel. This is how we do what we do, and I look forward to bringing you that podcast. If you enjoyed what we did here today, consider subscribing on Facebook. Click that pinned comment, and please go check out BertaProudDad.com. Use that promo code THANKSED, THXED at checkout on orders over $200. We'll chat later.